What's up, you guys? I'm coming to you with another video. For those of you that don't know, I'm Sophia, and for my previous videos, I've let you know that I am a nurse, a mom, and I'll be moving to Florida. But one important thing, I feel so bad that I never mentioned, I'm also married. Shout out, babe. Love you. And as the title suggests, I'm going to be telling you how I saved 16 bands in, I would say, probably 5 to 6 months. So let's start this video off so it's not too long. The first tip I would give would be to have a plan. Where are you going and when? So my plan is to move to Florida, specifically Tampa. And to be honest, the when just kind of came to a fruition recently, because we've actually talked about moving to Tampa for probably a couple of years now. So it was something that we definitely had wanted to do. I wouldn't say specifically Tampa, but Florida. We've traveled to Florida from Miami to Orlando and so on. It was definitely a vacation spot that we loved. So we just recently decided on Tampa. And our when, I would say we decided probably maybe about December or January. Didn't really quite have a specific date, but I would say as a starter, definitely know where you want to go. Make sure that you have visited where you want to go, done your research. All of that's very important. There's obviously YouTube videos, but definitely going there yourself or knowing someone that lives there just to kind of get an idea of where, and I guess your why for why you want to go to the place that you've chosen. So that would be the number one, have a plan. And if you see me looking down, I'm actually taking a look at some of my notes here because I kind of want to make sure this all makes sense. And this is not necessarily in a particular order, but this is kind of the order that I wanted to break it down to you guys. Number two, I would say set a timeline. So as I stated, my time frame was a good 6 to 8 months. I would say about 8 months. So I started really trying to save money in December, January. Being that I'm a nurse, there were a lot of opportunities for me to make money. So working overtime, picking up extra shifts, things like that. So I'm not obviously a financial planner. I'm not an expert on budgeting and savings. This is just my own personal experience. So please do not come for me in the comment section. And I understand that everybody's job is different. Everybody doesn't have the same access to money, and saving $16,000 in 5 to 6 months is not going to be a realistic thing for everybody. The point of this video is just to let you know that you can do certain things to save money. You can do various things to plan. Everybody's lifestyle and expectation of what your life will be in a different city is also different. So just to kind of give you a background, I already have an established career. I also am a homeowner. So for me, the plan looked like pretty much being parallel to what I currently have, So I didn't want to go, and I don't want to say like start from the bottom because that kind of sounds, bad or negative, but I definitely wanted to be on somewhat of a same parallel platform that I was already on. So to me, I can't say that I'm specifically going to buy a house as soon as I get there, but that is definitely my goal. I want to, be in the same place that I am. I don't really want to start from the bottom. So for me, that wasn't staying with someone else. That wasn't renting long term. So I really had to kind of get my budget together so that way I will get to Tampa and hopefully soon be a homeowner as I am here, as quickly as I can. So third, I would say would be to create a budget, and the budget's going to have to be realistic for you. For me, and I'm sure most people watching this, you're going to have to, pay your current expenses that you have. A lot of people have kids, which I do. So with bills and kids, sometimes it's not ideal to save a ton of money, but you just have to find those various opportunities. So some of the subcategories that I have are going to be areas where you can cut. Do you have a gym membership that you aren't utilizing? Or can you start working out at home? That can easily be, $20, $30, $40, $50, $60 a month that you could be saving towards moving to your new city. Also, a lot of people don't have cable nowadays, but you have a ton of streaming services. Do you have, Apple TV, Netflix, Hulu, what have you? Is there somewhere that you can cut down? Can you maybe just narrow it down to just Netflix? And on your subscriptions, do you have various like packages or upgrades? Can you maybe go down to the bare minimum on some of those things? So these are just ways that you can save on just the little things. Third, this might hit a few people, but maybe those Starbucks trips that you take every single morning, or that breakfast that you have, at McDonald's, what have you. Cutting some of those expenditures are going to help really put some more money in your pocket. So maybe doing your coffee at home can save you an extra $5 to $10 a day. So really those types of things add up. And as I suggested, ways to gain extra income. So whether you're a CNA, a nurse, picking up a second job, what have you, find ways that you're able to gain extra income. I am fortunate because I am a nurse and we are going through an extreme nursing shortage. So if you are a nurse, you definitely know what I mean. I took advantage of those opportunities. There were times where I was able to pick up a shift where I was making an extra $48 an hour. And that's extra on top of my regular pay, on top of my time and a half, on top of my night premium, on top of my weekend premium. So sometimes in a shift, I was literally making what I make in a 2-week period. Crazy. But you have to you have to take advantage of those opportunities. So I definitely did that. Another thing I would say is kind of planned things that you get throughout the year. Luckily this year, I was fortunate enough to get a income tax refund. I generally don't, because I'm in a tax bracket that I generally don't make enough to get, and actually I didn't anyway this year, get enough to make earned income credit, but I did qualify for the child tax credit, as well as because I was a full-time student, I also got some of those credits from being a student, so I banked my entire tax check. Another thing that's a little bit different to, I would say, this year are the whole stimulus checks that everyone received. I also banked my stimulus checks. Again, I understand that that's not going to be something everyone's going to be able to do, bank an entire check. But if you can put away half of it, some of it, that's going to be money that's going to be going towards you going out of town and obviously living out your dream. Another thing I would say is to have a cushion for unplanned expenses. Number one, you're going to want to list what you feel like are going to be your expenses. So for me, I'm moving not just with myself. I have a family. So I have to consider myself, my spouse, and my son. So our living expenses, where are we going to live? Our plan is to actually do Airbnbs because we don't want to get committed into like a rental contract, a lease that we'll have to break, or have to pay deposits and get all kinds of utilities on and things like that. So for us, the Airbnb, although it is kind of expensive, it's just a one fee type of situation that's kind of not committal to a certain extent. So that way, when a house comes up, we're able to snatch that house without having to break leases and pay early termination fees and higher rent fees. So definitely know where you want to live, how you're going to get there. For us, we are going to ship our vehicles, which is obviously an expense that we have to consider. We're going to have our things packed in a pod. So with the pod, obviously comes an expense. And then we're also going to fly out when we sell our home. So all these are expenses that I had to factor in. And of course, along the way, there was going to be unplanned expenses. So there were some things that we had to do with our home that we weren't considering to get ready for the selling process. And that will be a totally different video for you guys. I actually staged my own house, did some of the various repairs that kind of came up, like I said, unplanned. So stay tuned for that. But again, you want to have a cushion for those unplanned things. My initial budget was $10,000. And as you can see, I actually came up with $16,000. So it may be kind of weird to you guys that I actually had cash. And I'm going to tell you the reason why. Everyone in your household needs to be on board with your goals. Some people are visual, and in my case, my wife is a visual person. So she wanted to see the money stacking up, the cash in hand, and that was more motivation for her to know that we were getting somewhere. Me personally, I like to see those digits in my bank account, but hey, you want to make this like a group effort if it's not just you. So whatever works for you, your spouse, what have you, you definitely want to make sure that everybody's motivated, everybody's involved. So that's another thing. She also was working overtime. We both were in this goal together. saving, not spending as much, and of course you have to live life. So, we were still shopping and doing the things that we, love to do, but we weren't taking trips. We weren't shopping as much. We definitely cut back and we worked our butt off as far as overtime and just trying to get to our end goal. And lastly, I would say be realistic. If you find that, 5-6 months is not something that's going to be attainable for you and you're not going to be able to save this kind of money, then obviously try to figure out a realistic time frame for yourself. This has to be individualized to your lifestyle, to your budget, to your family, to your situation. Again, this is something I've dreamt of doing, but I wanted to make sure that I did it in a way that I would be comfortable. We do have family in Florida. We could have easily stayed with family and done things, but this is our journey. This is the way that I wanted to do it. So I wanted to get this planned the way, that I wanted to. And so that way it was realistic for me and as stress-free as possible, I guess, to say. So these are my tips and tricks. Hopefully, this is helpful for someone else. And hopefully if you're looking to move to Florida, you can follow my journey. I have some other videos in the works. I'm trying to lose weight for Florida. So I'm going to be coming to you guys with a Keisha Kaur tea video. I just actually started shooting that. So it's going to be kind of some pics, some vlog style, that kind of thing. So stay tuned for that. I'm also doing keto and have some keto products that I'm utilizing. So I'll let you guys know if that's working. Like I stated, I'm going to do a staging video to let you guys know that you can stage your own home affordably without hiring someone and paying a ton of money, and it just adds so much value to your home. But stay tuned. Thank you guys for watching.